you're going to hear a group of speakers who are disability self-advocates telling you how this is impacting their lives, legislators telling us what levers we need to pull, and community leaders going to explain the impact of what's happening right now.
We are here today to stand up for the rights and the dignity and the futures of people that are living with disabilities. And we are here today to send a strong, clear message. We will not stand by while support for you is dismantled. We will not do that.
I'm here because our very existence is being threatened. More than 50 years of tireless work fighting for the rights of people with disabilities is being threatened.
This isn't a left or right issue. This is about what is right.
28 Republicans wrote a letter to Medicaid and to the Republicans in Congress. Yeah, you can clap for that. Because they care, because this is not a political matter, it's a matter of priorities.
There is an attempt to roll back everything that has allowed people with disabilities to be in community. That is just true.
Your voices are needed now more than ever. People with disabilities, we're being targeted right now, right?
April was Autism Acceptance Month. Instead of acceptance, our government showed up to tell the world that autistic people will never contribute, that we don't matter, that we should be placed on a registry, and that the lives we live are so horrific, they should be considered an epidemic.
I'm the parent of an incredible autistic kid who has shown me that disability is not a problem to fix. Let me be clear. Cutting these programs doesn't just affect the budget line, it affects lives.
The Trump budget deletes, line item, take away, the administration on community living. That is a step towards institutionalization, and we should say it out loud. We have to stop pretending like these are not targeted attacks to reinstitutionalize people with disabilities.
For decades, children and adults with disabilities were treated as less than human. They were locked away in institutions and put in terrible, abusive conditions. Minnesota was no different than other states.
In 1975, the life expectancy of a person with Down syndrome was just 20 years old. Today, it's nearly 60. So what really happened between 1975 and today? Institutions closed.
In 1970, Congress finally recognized the tragedies that were occurring and created and funded the protection and advocacy agencies to protect people with disabilities from abuse and neglect and get people into the community of their choice.
We're facing an all-out assault on people with disabilities, their families, their allies, and frankly, our entire communities. Why are we here? We're here because we know our communities are better when we're all included. We all belong. We all belong.
I can't stress enough that people with disabilities cannot afford to lose access to home and community-based supports. It would jeopardize the health and freedom of people with disabilities.
This isn't charity, it's investment. The International Labor Organization, the ILO, found over 60% of disabled people here want to work. We're innovative problem solvers because we navigate a world not built for us.
I'm proud of our work at ICI. For more than 40 years, we've helped create a Minnesota where people with disabilities are supported to live, learn, work, and thrive. These investments have paid off. Since the DD Act was put into law, we've moved from custodial institutions being the only option and the only service for people to a service system that embraces full community-based programs. We have made way too much progress. We can't go back to institutions.
I had the privilege of participating in the Partners in Policymaking program. This amazing program is directly supported by the DD Council. The Council supports community outreach, commissions reports, tracks legislative and state agency initiatives, and most importantly, provides people with disabilities and parents of children with disabilities the opportunity to have their voices heard in the decision-making process.
In case anybody in your life is confused about what it is that we're fighting for, not just fighting against, but fighting towards, it's disability justice. It's leadership of those most impacted. It's cross-movement solidarity. It's collective liberation, because until we're all free, we're not free.
So what can you do today? First of all, contact your legislators. Calling is better. They document your phone calls. Contact your federal legislators. Let them know that cuts to the ACL, these huge cuts and reorganizations to the Department of Health and Human Services, the Department of Education, they are not supporting individuals with disabilities. Tell your story. Talk about how Medicaid supports you. Talk about how Medicaid supports your child.
This isn't someone else's fight. It's all of our fight. It's all of us.
Make your voices as loud as you possibly can and be relentless in contacting all of your elected officials, and make sure 10 of your neighbors are doing the same thing.
I challenge our legislators to fulfill their ethical and moral duty to continue to fund the programs that provide the necessary legal advocacy and resources that are desperately needed for the state and local levels for families and individuals with developmental disabilities.
This is the time to organize. This is the time to act. Please call your elected officials. Please act now. It's not time to complain. It's time to act.
When they come for autistic people, they come next for people with intellectual disabilities, for people with physical disabilities, for people with chronic illness, for people with mental health disabilities. They come for all of us. Unless we stand together and say enough.
Together, let's tell our federal lawmakers to keep their hands off of the DD Act and to keep their hands off of Medicaid. Thank you.